Await no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, and along for the ride, as always, Kyle. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great, Joe.
Oh my goodness, you sound so wonderful, Kyle. Oh.
And if you're not watching the video, I took a second and I was like, I put my finger up and I had to speak very softly into this nice new microphone.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm still in shock. I'm so grateful to you, Joe. I'm grateful for the Make Us Better community for making this happen. I still don't think I deserve it, but, you know, a tear, I'm not sending it back. I'm in love with it already. I haven't done anything with it yet, but here we are.
Dude, I am so happy. You don't know how long I've been planning this. About, I think, a good month and a half.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. We both, at the end of this podcast, we'll show you what we mean, but we belong to a group called Make Us Better. And what Make Us Better is about a network of people, small creators who want to make a difference, but want to do it together. And that's why at the beginning of every trophy room, I thank the Make Us Better community. And so with that, I want to thank our platinum, our gold, and our executive producers today. So starting with our platinum, I want to thank Corey Hicks. You can find him at twitch.tv/chicks_18. We're going to change that one day. Gold executive producers, Sheldon Benedict, Tony Baker, The Quest for Pixels, guys. Thank you all so much. Mark Moody, Mr. Glorious One himself from the Glorious Movie Show. What's up, Moody? Gentlemen executive producers, Dude427, Martini Jean, Aaron Doherty, David Ray, Jesse Armstrong, Joel Brooks, James Johnson, Tim Olf, and Robbie Miller himself. Thank you all so much. And there's so many more as well that have come out. And because of your generosity, we were able to get Kyle a new mic. Because my one thing is we have to be uniformed, right? I want to I want Kyle to sound as good as me. I want myself to sound as good as Kyle. And so with that, here we are. And I'm so excited. At the end of this podcast, on the YouTube version, I will show you guys, I'll add the clip of you unboxing it and me reacting to you unboxing it.
Yeah.
Wow. There was a lot of tears.
Yes, there were.
We showed all the Patreon people first, of course, and how many tears?
Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, everybody walked away and they're just like, this is beautiful. This is why we do this. And so, again, thank you all so much for your generosity. And now, Kyle, let's get into this show.
Sure.
I'm so excited for this show.
We're going to take a hard right turn when it comes to generosity when we're talking about PlayStation. But that's in a little bit.
But yeah, before we talk about the controversies and the damage control coming out of Fortnite and coming out of Sony's camp, Kyle, I want to ask you, what games have you been playing?
So not as much as I would like. Basically, last week was E3, and I just sat on the couch and watched as much coverage as possible.
Same here.
I must have watched the Sony press conference 5-6 times. I've watched the Square Enix one a couple of times. So I've been doing mostly that. But since they announced Fallout Shelter for PS4 and the Nintendo Switch, I've been playing it on the Switch while I'm watching the E3 stuff. And so I love that game. I played it on mobile for a while until I just kind of dropped it. Yeah. So I'm happy to get back into it.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite, and that's just because simply, E3 week. So I can't get invested in a game at the moment. I can't go back and finish Detroit Become Human yet.
Yeah.
So for me, I've been playing Fortnite, and first off, it came out on Switch, and we'll get to the controversy in just a second. But, we got Mr. Sean Capri of the Xbox Drive. We got, the Nintendo guru, Bobby himself. We have Dude427, of course. Me and Dude, let me tell you something. We're taking all the Make Us Better people to to Victory Royale paradise. If you want a Victory Royale, you come to me and I'll give you that Victory Royale. Now, it might not be a one-shot thing, but you give me an hour, tops 2, we're giving you a Victory Royale.
My only Victory Royale was with you, Joe, during Kelsey's charity stream. And that was the only time I've ever got to the top.
There you go. And see, but I bring you there. That's
you
the
do.
most important thing. Everybody has a ticket to Battle Royale. You put that coupon, you bring it to me, and bam, I validate it. We'll bring you there. So I was on the Switch. I was playing on the Switch. Of course, not using my PlayStation stuff. That's cool. And
But how is it on there? I know this is the PlayStation podcast, whatever, but like,
Yeah.
how is Fortnite on the Switch?
so definitely, you play it where it's meant to be played, PlayStation. Like, and I'm not just saying that because this is the Trophy Room, my PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players, rated as far as 5 stars on iTunes. It's just the simple fact that the Switch version feels a bit like a beefier mobile version. I know Epic has been very hard on this, that this is the console version, but it's not running at 60 FPS. When you're trying to snipe long distances, it's near impossible because how much the players are stuttering on the screen. It's really hard. But at the same, and it's not, of course, that beautiful. I don't know if it's running 1080p when docked. So
Gotcha.
it is taking a lot out of the Switch. You can see it's taxing the machine for sure. But yeah, it's still a fun experience. It's not my go-to. Of course, still the PlayStation is. But with that, I've been hammering Sony. You know, a lot of people call me a Sony pony. Oh, Joe, you're the Sony fan. You know, you're gonna defend Sony until whatever the case may be. Well, that's not the case. Earlier last week with the Nintendo's E3 Direct, where they announced Fortnite for the Switch, they didn't announce what platforms you would be able to play on if the Switch version was crossplay, which I thought was really weird while I was watching that Direct. And with that, we find out after the Direct that it is crossplay, but only with Xbox folks, with PC and mobile. You still cannot even play with PlayStation people, which is weird because Nintendo is not a competitor by any means against Microsoft and Sony. And we've even heard both Microsoft and Sony praise Nintendo's successes, and both, even Shuhei Yoshida himself, should be praised, has stressed the importance that Nintendo holds in this ecosystem, that they breed gamers, and that Nintendo needs to be a part of the gaming industry. And we've seen this move by Sony, not allowing crossplay between consoles. And we talked about this a few months ago on the podcast.
It's not even a crossplay issue either. It's the fact that you can't even link your battle pass.
Exactly. So
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, and here's where you're really biting into the shit covered patty is that you're not allowed to crossplay. So we as PlayStation people, we understand we don't want to deal with those low lives. but here's the kicker, and here's why people are so upset. And we found out even more things that have kicked up a firestorm, and that is that Sony has also locked your Epic account without telling you. So I logged into Epic. I created an account back in February when crossplay didn't exist yet, and Sony didn't tell me that, hey, crossplay is coming to PC and mobile, but they didn't tell me that if I wanted to take my account and go somewhere else like Xbox or like Nintendo,
basically another console,
that content wouldn't carry over. Everything I purchased, though it is an Epic account, is locked on my PlayStation, my PC, and my mobile. So if I wanted to go to those platforms, I could use my character, but I can't use that account for Xbox or for Nintendo. You want to hear a little bit more? Because there's more. If you bought anything on the PlayStation Store and you have leftover V-Bucks, you want to know something? Those V-Bucks don't even carry over to the PC or the mobile version. So Sony's been under fire for essentially not telling people that they were being locked out of taking their own Epic account and bringing it somewhere else. And with that, a few hours after the controversy, Sony came out and said this. They stated this.
A very old Sony type of statement, if
Yes.
I do want to add to it.
And this comes from DualShockers.com, so give them a click. And it says, we're always open to hearing what the PlayStation community is interested in to enhance their gaming experience. Fortnite is already a huge hit with PlayStation 4 fans, offering a true free-to-play experience gamers can jump in and play online. With 79 million PlayStation 4s sold around the world and more than 80 million monthly active users on the PlayStation Network, we've built a huge community of gamers who play together on Fortnite and all online titles. We also offer Fortnite crossplay support with PC, Mac, iOS, and Android devices, expanding the opportunity for Fortnite fans on the PlayStation 4 to play even more gamers on other platforms. And then they also said afterwards that they have that's it on their comments. They're not going any further than this. So with that comment, Kyle, you know how adamantly I've been about this situation. After hearing those words, what do you feel about Sony? Are they right in your courtroom, or are they wrong?
They're completely wrong. This is old Sony at its finest, and that statement, it makes me very mad. It's very much look at how many players we got. Isn't that awesome? And we could crossplay with some people, but not everybody. Like, it's back in the day in the old console generation, Xbox was on that side where they wouldn't let crossplay happen, and PlayStation had some crossplay functionality with PC and stuff. But like,
Final Fantasy Online, EverQuest, just to name a few. Yeah, they were doing crossplay, and they were at one point very open with allowing crossplay with consoles, and Microsoft were the ones not wanting it because they didn't want their paid service, Xbox Live people, to intermingle with people who were playing for free, essentially.
And the thing that makes me mad about the situation, and I don't really have a whole stake in it, but I have plenty of friends who, like yourself, and who bought the Battle Pass and put money into Fortnite. Yeah, that they basically locked you out of switching or playing on a different console without really telling anybody, and that's really, really shady, and something that I wish and I hope that Sony learned from the PS3 era, where they're not forthright in what they were doing. Like, if they made a deal with Epic and whatnot, then I understand that they made a deal with them. But to say that you're locked out and your V-Bucks don't carry over, it's disappointing for sure. And I feel so sad for everybody who this happened to, because I saw it on Twitter the moment they downloaded Fortnite. All my friends tried to go play, and it said, your account has been locked out from the Nintendo Switch or whatnot. Yeah. Like, it's stupid. It's really stupid. It's 2018. Video games have been around for a long time. I hope that like everyone can just play nice with each other. Yeah,
that statement just reads, look how awesome we are. We have 79 guys, we have 79 million consoles out there. 80 million and it's just like, but like I have friends who play on Xbox. Why can't I play with them? But it's not even crossplay that I'm really upset about, because I have all three consoles, right? I'm lucky enough too. So let me just bring my account over so that I don't have to double dip.
And it's not skins. Like it hasn't happened this generation. Yeah. Because with Rocket League a couple years ago, I was able to play with my friend on Xbox.
Yeah, and even with Fortnite, they accidentally flipped the switch, allowing PlayStation 4 people to play with Xbox people.
That's the thing that makes me so mad. It's just a Switch. It's not like they have to recode the freaking game. No. Just make it happen. Like, let people pass through that gate so they can meet up and play against each other.
And now even places like EA and Activision have even spoken up and said, we would love crossplay, because what it essentially does, and even I've stated this multiple times, is what you do when you allow crossplay is you allow that game to have one singular community. You allow that game to have more life because there's more people playing that game. Instead of what you have are these segmented communities, one's larger than the other. Like playing Rainbow Six on the PlayStation 4, finding a match simple, but finding one on the Xbox takes a little longer. Now, just imagine if those two were combined into one, it'd make finding games instant. It's easy.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, a lot of people come back to, well, Xbox, Xbox was like that back in the last generation. Well, yeah, but they're not the same company they were last generation. They have new leadership. And not only that, be better than your competition. Right? Don't you want to be the bigger person if they're not going to let it and you just now all of a sudden change your mind and now you look like the bad guy? I don't understand that.
No, and I got to give props to Xbox from the coverage. Again, I was watching E3. I was watching Kind of Funny on the GameSpot stage on Thursday where they had Major Nelson on. And Major Nelson straight up was like, oh, yeah, you can play Fortnite on your Switch with Xbox, no problem. And it brought back to the memory of when PlayStation 4 was revealed, and they had that genius video of Adam Boyes handing a game over to Shuhei. Like, this is how we share games. This is Xbox's moment, and they're taking advantage of it. It tip my cap in their direction because it's working. It
is, and people are upset. And this is not.
And they have a right to be upset. It's annoying.
It is now. You're the only one holding back everybody else. You used to be on the forefront saying no, let's allow crossplay, and now you're the ones that are dragging your heels to whatever. Like Reggie Fils-Aimé was on Fox Business and talking about being able to play on Xbox and throwing a little shade at Sony as well. Like, this is long-term damage. Like, it might not affect you now, Sony, but when the Scarlet comes out, when the Xbox, whatever the next generation Xbox is, when people look at what Microsoft and Phil Spencer have built in terms of a library of services, right? And if they bring that games factor, that's something if I was Sony, I would be a little bit nervous about. Right? Because if I'm looking at the next generation of games, right, I can either choose PlayStation or Xbox, and it's a clean slate, right? Like, they both have at this point no games, no nothing. Xbox has things like Game Pass, right? And Game Pass with backwards compatibility, bridging your whole entire library of games, right? Slowly but surely, that's Microsoft's plan, is bringing all your Xbox games to one console, right? Being able to digitally return games you simply don't like. That's huge. And you have a 2-hour window of game time to choose whether you want to keep the game or not. That's huge.
Yeah, so like if you were to say, hey, Kyle, here's your clean slate, which one are you going to pick based on that? And seeing PlayStation offer things like PlayStation Now and PlayStation View, I'm picking Xbox in that situation, knowing that no games are coming out. I don't know which or which. Like, just on services alone, Xbox is killing it. And so why would I not go that way?
And that's the danger. And that's what I don't think Sony sees, is that by not allowing crossplay, by not even just simply allowing our accounts to go to other places freely, what PlayStation is allowing is for their true Achilles heel to be revealed. And that is, you get one lifetime return on the PlayStation Network store. One. Right? Like things like that. Things like not being able to crossplay. Things like not being able to return your games. Things like, not having a game service like Games Pass. Like all these little things. Being able to change your name. you know?
Yeah.
It brings up all these little things that you're not good at. And this just highlights those things. And with that, it's your games that make your console. I'm not playing PlayStation because it's the most powerful console. I'm not. Right? Yeah. Power, I don't give a shit. As long as the game looks pretty enough and it runs well in at 30 to 60 FPS, I'm fine. And the reason why I'm playing your console is not because of your multiplayer suite. It's actually really not. Yeah. Again, PSN, it's not, a lot of people go, oh, PSN is lousy. Yeah, you can't change your name. It's not a night and day difference.
No, it's way better than it was on PS3.
Exactly. But it's still, Xbox Live is a superior service. Yeah. As a person who has owned both and who stopped paying for Live and has continued to play on network, it's better on Live. PS5. It just is. It just is. And so with that, by not allowing this, it's so stupid. And the reason, apparently, and this comes from Polygon, so give them a click, please. A developer who works at PlayStation, apparently, this is just all speculation, but the reason why Sony will not allow for crossplay is this, and I'm going to read this guy's tweet.
Okay.
By the way, what's that?
I haven't heard this, so I'm curious.
Good. So this is John Smeedley. By the way, when I was at Sony, the stated reason internally was for money. They didn't like someone buying something on an Xbox and being used on a PlayStation. Simple as that. Dumb reason, but there it is. And so Polygon, I would not bet that they didn't verify who this person is and if they really worked at Sony. So I'm going to take Polygon's word at it. And they then added, do we buy this explanation? And the author goes, I buy it, absolutely. Sony has the most to lose and the least to gain from cross-platform play, which they do. And poisoning Fortnite accounts, as he puts it, to keep them from working on the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One is a good way for everybody's bucket of money to be separate. So with that actually makes a ton of sense.
It does, yeah.
And what I stated earlier from this whole debacle, you're not even your currency does not even transfer from your PlayStation to other accounts. Yeah. Even if you're playing on mobile, even if you're playing on PC, your V-Bucks don't carry with you. That's a problem. Mm-hmm. That is just then at this point pure greed. Now I can understand where Sony is coming from. They do have the least to gain in terms of monetary value. They do technically they could be losing some money, but the benefit is that people look at you and go, "Wow, that's an awesome thing." That's an awesome thing you're doing, Sony. Keep it up. What you win is public perception that, you know what? Sony might be on top of the game right now, but they still get it. And that's the thing that I just don't understand from Sony right now is that their arrogance is really, and I'm being honest with you, it's turning me off. Mm-hmm. This is, you said it perfectly, Kyle. I bought a PlayStation 4 not because of the games. I bought it because when Shuhei handed Adam Boyes that copy of Killzone, this is how you trade in games.
It's probably one of the best press conferences ever.
It's the best press conference when they're like, where there is no DRM in the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 is $400. There is no camera included. It's all your choice. It's all player choice. By the players, for the players. We say this on the podcast, and it holds true that we're by the players, for the players first, and Sony second. We have to call them out when they're up to no good.
That conference, to me, when I watched, was like, oh, they get it. They're learning. And until recently, like this, I was like, yes, they're in a new direction. They're understand what we want as gamers, and then this is old Sony bleeding through, and they need to do something to stop it, or else PS5 is the tides are gonna turn again, where Xbox is now gonna be on top, and PlayStation's gonna be doing all the clawing and catching up.
And with that, I need to stress this: I play your console for your games. I don't play your console for anything else. Yeah, like we have a PlayStation bias, of course, with the trophy room, but that does not mean that we're going to be inherently loyal to the brand. We have to be genuine first. By the players, for the players means a lot to me, and so when you're screwing up, I'm going to call you out when you're screwing up. Yeah. I just feel like that's just something that needs to be said, needs to be done, because at the end of the day, as much as we love the platform and the people that create on the platform, Sony isn't my friend. Sony isn't paying me. Microsoft isn't my friend. Microsoft doesn't pay me. Mm-hmm. Nintendo isn't my friend. They don't pay me. Why should I defend any of these people? Right? Because at the end of the day, all these companies are out to do one singular thing, and that is to make money. Yep. That is it. They have no feelings. You really don't. So you know, when you buy a console, you're buying into this. What are they about? Like, what is this console about? What is this company about? What are they making that is truly unique? And then you have this deal with them going, okay, you know what? As long as you treat me right, I'm going to give you money. And the day they don't is the day you stop.
Yep.
And that's how I feel about it. So it was a long topic, but it needed to be said. Kyle, do you think they're going to fix this? Or do you think, unfortunately, they're going to be
the optimist in me wants to believe, yes, they will fix it. But seeing that response from Sony, I don't have a whole lot of faith that they will. I think it's just going to keep going as it is, and then they'll make something else happen. Like they'll announce something else, and they'll try to sweep it under the rug and hope people forget. And which is sad, but yeah, I don't think they're going to fix it.
Yeah. So with this week coming right out of E3, there has not been a lot of news.
Yeah,
It's really been just this, and that's about it. And so we reached out, and first off, I agree with you 100%. I don't think they're going to do anything.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
With that, we reached out to you guys earlier today for questions, and you guys, holy shit, man. Let me tell you something. You guys delivered and then some. And I have to thank, first and foremost, Luke Lore, Insipid Ghosts on Mixer. Go follow this man. He gave us our first question. And this one's a really interesting one that I feel like I need to tackle this. Are you ready, Kyle?
I'm ready.
So we're going to offer a new segment here called PlayStation Damage Control. Listen, sometimes we make mistakes, right? Don't we all? We're just people. And if Mitt Romney taught us anything, is that corporations are people too. And so with that, we introduced...
He didn't teach me anything.
So we put on our hazmat suits, and we're going to clean up the mess that Sony made. And you know what? We're going to do a great job at it. Yes, I said we weren't bought by Sony, but in this segment, we definitely are.
We're role-playing right now.
We're role-playing, yeah. So here we go with Luke Lore's question. Thank you so much. And he goes, Spider-Man and Ghost of Tsushima look great, but Sony is sabotaging their lead by hurting customers and third-party relations right now. Weaker hardware and a decline in indie spotlight worry me that they are doing the PlayStation 3 thing again. And I think that's a lot to digest. I think the Fortnite controversy speaks to the damaging of the consumer goodwill. And I think that is an arrogant move, and hopefully Sony learns and they go, okay, we understand we need to avoid certain things. With that though, I want to tackle third-party relationships right now. Yeah, because I'm ready. A lot of, from what I hear, and this comes, and I'm not going to call you out, Luke, all right, but let's be honest, you're an Xbox fanboy. No, only kidding. But a lot of people from the Xbox community and gamers alike looked at PlayStation conference and said, there wasn't a lot of third-party offerings. And, Sean, I remember when we were doing the stream on Sony's conference third-party relations like Activision, EA, I would be offended by not being on the stage. So, paraphrasing here, Sean, please don't hurt me. But that they're hurting their relationships with third party by not letting them have the spotlight on the Sony stage. So I want you, Kyle, to tackle this first for
me.
What do you feel about that? Do you think that they're hurting the third party relations by not giving them a spotlight? No,
I don't. I think what they showed at the conference was smart in a way because it was mostly first-party exclusives. I think that the two third-party stuff was Capcom stuff, if I'm not mistaken. And after E3 was over, I know we're playing Damage Control and we're trying to be pro Sony, but they didn't really stress this enough. But all E3 long, Sony had third-party games on their live stream, their actual own live stream, and they went in depth for each game. And they had developers on to talk about it and show a little bit of it. So I don't think there was any loss there in the third-party development. I think they just went about it differently for this E3. And I think for Sony's standpoint, they look at what Microsoft did at their E3 conference and are like, oh, they showed the third-party games for us. And we believe that PlayStation gamers are smart when they see that, and they see no exclusive tag on it, so they're going to know that it's coming to PlayStation. So you kind of did our job for us in that department.
Yeah, I think so. Here's the thing where I disagree with Luke and I disagree with Sean on. Third-party relations. Let's talk about it. You burn third-party relations by doing dumb shit. So I'm going to actually bring up Nintendo. And again, I know Make Us Better community, big Nintendo people. But look at what Nintendo did with Sony, right? When they had the Sony, the Nintendo PlayStation. Remember that whole big thing? Yeah. Which was effectively a Super Nintendo that read discs. Yep. Now, they backed out. They publicly embarrassed Sony. That is how you embarrass third party, by putting out something or going back on your word with something, a deal that you've made with them. That's how you hurt their feelings. Again, Mitt Romney might be wrong when they say that corporations aren't people and they actually don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sorry, I'm using the hard F. I dropped the hard F. I'm sorry, Tim Wolf. I'm sorry, little Timmy in the car. So sorry, but they don't care. They don't care at all, because the thing that they care about is money and their own perception. Yeah, it's nice to have Sony somewhere, pimping out our stuff and giving us money for our marketing deals. But at the end of the day, they don't care what conference they're in, as long as they're doing good themselves and public perception is good to them. That's all they care about. They didn't look at Sony's I bet nobody at the EA board looked or even watched their own conference, let alone Sony's, right? Yeah. So let's be honest here. When you're in a board meeting, when you're talking to a CEO, these are not gamers. They're businessmen. They're businessmen and women. They're caring about numbers and how we improve how they improve their product line. They don't give a crap about what conference they are. If it doesn't mean that they get a big paycheck out of it, they honestly don't care. They honestly don't.
And EA is a good example, because last year Anthem was shown on Xbox's stage for the first time ever. And this year they weren't on Xbox's stage and they weren't during the Sony's press conference. Yeah. But I believe they were on twice, the Sony live at E3 type of thing, where they were on there twice talking about the game, and that's where it counts most. Sony's smart. They know what people want, and they're going to have them on, and they're going to talk about the game as they go a little bit more in depth to it.
And even to get even further, look at Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. First off, Sony owns a portion of Square Enix. I think they sold most of it. I think they only have now an 8% share. They used to have like a 23% share. But nonetheless, they own a piece of Square. Square Enix was heavily prominent at Xbox's conference. Kingdom Hearts was shown off at Xbox's conference. But who got that limited edition console? Yeah. Who got the deal? It's Sony. They didn't care because they know that Kingdom Hearts sells.
Who got the bundle of all the Kingdom Hearts games?
Exactly.
On a Sony platform where all the other games are already on there. Like, it would have made way more sense for Xbox to get that, but they didn't.
Exactly. Sony does not care. These companies, Square, they do not care. Look at EA, right? They're making deals with both sides. If you think that they have a personal stake in any company, you're kidding yourself. You're thinking too close into this. This is not high school drama. You see EA shaking hands. They're taking money from Microsoft with Battlefield in one hand, and then they're taking Sony's money with Star Wars Battlefront with the other. They do not care.
Ubisoft, or Ubisoft, whatever we decided is the right way to say it. They're like one of the biggest culprits, because Assassin's Creed seems to like flip-flop every other year of what stage it's on. And that's like a major franchise. And every other year they switch conferences.
Yeah, so with that, no. Third-party relationships, they don't matter much in terms of like, oh, you hurt my feelings by not showing. They don't care. They don't care.
It's cool from a viewer standpoint.
Sure.
Like, that conference won because we saw these crazy third-party games. Like, we tie that to that conference.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, we're gonna get to play them on PlayStation. And like, nobody thinks Cyberpunk is just Xbox exclusive.
Nobody.
Like, a couple days after E3, Sony put the Cyberpunk trailer with the PlayStation branding on their YouTube channel. So I mean, it all
even
counts.
Twitter page.
Yeah.
And let's go even further here and pick out the last one. Weaker hardware and a decline in indie spotlight worry me, in that they're doing the PlayStation 3 thing again. Weaker hardware doesn't matter.
No,
I'm just gonna say it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, like and you know, I get some saltiness from Xbox guys saying it did matter in the beginning of this generation. Yes, it mattered in the beginning of this generation when PlayStation and Xbox had literally. I remember reports saying, "Oh, PlayStation has 5 more games than Xbox, or Xbox has 3 more games than PlayStation." Back in the day when they had no strong first party support on either side, yes, power mattered then. But when you see games like Horizon, Bloodborne, again, I say it all over again, it doesn't matter about the hardware. It doesn't. Yeah. It's do you have the games? And let's be frank with each other. Xbox this generation has jack shit. I love Gears of War, it doesn't sell. I love Halo, does not sell.
Which again, the other side of the coin, I think we mentioned it last week on the E3 wrap up. But the fact that Xbox bought all those studios is a great sign for Xbox because they're listening. And they're doing the right thing there. But like with Sony has those already, and they have a ton of fantastic studios who pump out amazing story, narrative-based games with some great gameplay. And yeah, sure, they just happen to be in the third person's perspective. Right. But that doesn't take away from the game itself and why we have so many great memories of these games, and they do so well.
And when it comes to indie spotlight, and it worries you, it does to me a little bit, but when Sony came out with the PlayStation 4, you have to understand where Sony was at the time. They're in a much better place now. But when they were there, they were in the red. And when you're in the red and when you're losing money as a company, you're looking at short-term successes, and that's why you can pay for dozens of indie titles, right? Depending on the size and the scope.
And it bears to point out that PlayStation 3 was not indie friendly. Just to develop on the PS3 because of the cell processor and stuff. So, yeah, it got better for PS4. And I still don't think it's real bad. I play a ton of indies on my PlayStation.
Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as what people make it out to believe. I think even PlayStation VR shows that it's an indie powerhouse. You don't see big titles on there. You see indie support. And I think by seeing Sony go out and say, we got Beats, right? We got Moss. Yeah. We got fucking Tetris, which I'm super excited about.
I'm so excited for every VR game they announced leading up to E3.
Seriously. Like Giant Ghost. So no, I don't buy that there's no indie support. But when a company's in the red, you're thinking of small term successes rather than big investments. Those big investments happen when you're in healthy shape. You can make big risks. But when you're in the red, you don't want to make any huge risks. So you're going to go with safe bets so that if you fund 12 indie games, 4 of them flop, but the rest do great, you're still in the green. So I don't buy that one second. Don't be worried, Luke.
No.
Is what I'm trying to say. So our next question, and this is great because I just feel like this is just like, you know what? This is the Trophy Room AMA. Ask us anything, okay?
Yeah.
Revolving PlayStation. So we got one from Edward Vernell. Sorry, Ed, I screwed that up. You know, I don't listen when you write in. Just tell me, just pronunciate your name for me. You know I'm a big dumb idiot. Okay, so with that, and it's a really easy one too, right? Varnell, and I screwed it up. Do you feel that Sony's first-party games are starting to feel stale and mundane by its design use? They tend to use the cover over-the-shoulder gameplay a lot and tell a decent story compared to other games who have done a lot better years ago in gameplay, graphics, and presentation. This comes from Edward. What do you feel about that? And I did ask him, I go, what games do it better in your opinion? He says, sorry.
No, I was going to say, that's the part that confuses me. Like, what other games was he talking about?
So he said Last Guardian, Iconoclast, Tales of Symphonia, Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story, Titanfall 2, Hellblade, DMC, Devil May Cry, Metroid Other M. Come on, man. Let's not pretend that's good. Anyway, Rhyme and Eternal Darkness. And so, Kyle, what do you think about all that?
Man, that's a tough question to kind of handle.
You want me to tackle it?
Yeah, go ahead. Because I at first I very much disagree.
Okay.
I don't think they're becoming super stale.
Yeah.
I mean, the camera position and third person over the shoulders, what I said before, seems kind of samey, but they're all very different. Yeah, they're different. Yeah. Where their setting and story,
they might be third person, but Last of Us is nothing like God of War. God
No,
of War is
God of War and Horizon are different
Yeah.
as well.
They're both action RPGs, but they play totally different.
Yeah.
So to me, I understand. If you feel that way, I'm not telling you you're wrong.
Yeah.
First and foremost, that's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. But with that, to me, I play Sony again for the first party games, and yeah, they might be all third person over the shoulder, but oh my god, do each one of them do it great. And in my opinion, I don't know, Ed, if you've played, if you've played games like God of War or The Last of Us, but those are some of my favorite games of all time. And though I love Hellblade, and I really do, and I think the story they told was great, I think the gameplay was rather bland and uninspired. To be completely honest, it's just like two buttons, right? So for me, I feel like when it comes to God of War and seeing the time and the effort put in by the team and seeing Cory Barlog and all that, and the games that they're able to make is just incredible. And I also think compared to other games, visually and storytelling wise, nobody does it better than Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
Nobody. Not even close. Like,
And
it's crazy.
that's not just The Last of Us. That's Uncharted as well.
Yeah.
All five of those games, I forgot about Lost Legacy. They tell fantastic stories, and I think where PlayStation has it right, and yeah, they all have the same type of camera, whatever. We've gone over this, but their characters that they create are what makes them stand out.
Yeah.
They have iconic characters, and yeah, Xbox has the Master Chief and the Gears characters, and Nintendo obviously has Mario and Zelda and Link and all that stuff. But PlayStation has a great big number of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a question for Mr. Robbie Bobby Miller. All right. Are you ready for this?
I think so. I think I saw a little bit of these.
He gave us a list, but I got to narrow it down to one because we're already starting to run it pretty late, and I like this one the most.
Okay.
The longest running game still active / updated regularly on your PlayStation 4. Do you know that game?
I do know that game.
What is it?
Rocket League.
Oh shit! Okay.
I love Rocket League.
You know what? You know what's mine? Real talk.
Yeah.
Do you know what game I talk about the most?
Fortnite.
No. Here it is. Next to the picture of the llamas.
Yeah, I just noticed those. What's up with those?
First off, let me tell you this.
Because that's pretty fantastic.
I saw this at Marshall's, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, Picasso has nothing. Please, if you're not watching this, I know this is another visual gag. Go to Bad Bit Games, go to the YouTube channel. I will literally put a timestamp where I explain these llamas.
Can I ask you a quick question, though,
yes.
Joe? Are those pom-poms like 3D? Like,
absolutely.
Are they glued
That's
on there?
That's what I was gonna say. So the pom-poms are actually 3D. They're actually little fuzzy pom-poms. And my best friend, her birthday is in a few weeks. So I got this as a birthday gift for her.
Oh my god. I thought for a quick second that you're gonna make those into like the Fortnite llama pinata things.
No, absolutely not. But no, it's Bloodborne. I was gonna grab the action figure, but now it's holding up the painting. So again, Picasso, take notes on those beautiful llamas. But yeah, no, it's Bloodborne. Bloodborne has never in its days. I like when I got my PlayStation 4 Pro, my God of War edition was one of the first games I downloaded. Bloodborne.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it's always in there because it's a game I always go back to. Always. So yeah, no, 100% Bloodborne. And now you understand the llamas behind me. Andrew Gonzalez.
Can I really quick address Bobby's other question on this list?
Yeah, absolutely.
He asked me what I'm really doing when my PS4 is signed on and I'm not in a game.
That's a great question.
So that is a great question, and sometimes I just turn my PSN profile to offline just so I don't get people bothered by this.
I got this.
I watch a lot of YouTube. Like, I don't really watch TV. So when I wake up in the morning, I turn on my PlayStation and I just watch YouTube or all day or Netflix or something. So that's why I'm not in a game, is because I just watch stuff all the time. And
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I like this episode, Kyle. This is more laid back.
Like a couple weeks ago, you said, "Oh, are you playing Fortnite?" No, I just had that game suspended in the background for days, which is something I love that PlayStation does. Is where you can just suspend a game and jump right back into it whenever. But yeah, I didn't realize that it actually shows that you're still in the game.
Oh God, yes. So we got one from Mr. Adam Leonard, the Megadats, which praise be to Shu and praise
Are
be
you
to you.
skipping
Adam.
Andrews?
Oh no, I haven't. I'm
Okay.
going in a messed up order.
Oh, okay.
Adam Leonard, who did the artwork, the beautiful artwork for the
Yes.
trophy room, go check out the Megadats blog, please, for the love of God, because they're great. He met Shuhei Yoshida.
Oh,
Praise be to Shu and praise be to you, Adam. God, and he all his ailments. He said he touched Shu, all his ailments gone.
it's
He
like those
aged
TV
20 years younger.
and those TV pastors.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Why? Anyway, he goes, and he was at E3. I think he was at the PlayStation conference, like in the stadium. I know he was at the Xbox one. But with that, he goes, am I alone in being less excited for The Last of Us Part 2 after E3? I just didn't see anything new or interesting, and the heavy-handed ultra-violence isn't archiving what I think they're trying for. It seems forced still. I think it'll be good. I trust Naughty Dog, but bad showing at E3. What do you think about that?
Ooh, I don't call that a bad showing at all.
No?
Yeah, I'm so far on the other opposite side of where Adam's at. It's the way it opened, where a heavy story part where we see Ellie and the other characters and Dina, we're introduced to her, and the way they pan over after they kiss, and it goes straight into it goes from happy fun times, they're dancing, to this is what the world's really like, and this cult that is, we don't know too much about it, but I loved it. It's super brutal, and yes, it's super violent, but it fits the world. Like, that doesn't bother me. I was actually more hyped after this one because the gameplay looked so good.
Yeah. So, first off, hey Adam, listen, you make great art. I'm gonna be contracting you soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, I wanted to say this before.
Yeah.
When, like, I tell my mom whatever, like, yeah, I'm doing a show about PlayStation, and she's like, yeah, right. And then I showed her Adam's artwork, and she's like, oh, you're for real. Like, this is not this isn't a joke.
Yeah.
So thank you for legitimizing what I'm doing, Adam.
There you go. My dad, he still doesn't care. So with that, listen, if you're less excited, you're less excited. And that's cool. That's fine. With me, I'm actually more excited after seeing this trailer. Did the violence make me uncomfortable? Absolutely. When the guy gets gutted, but for me, I was worried about The Last of Us because how do you make a game better that's already a masterpiece in design?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that game has sold right now, as it stands, 17 million copies. That's huge.
That is.
That's freaking phenomenal. So for this, for me, when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2, I was worried because what are you going to do to make it better? And for what I saw when it came to the AI in the game, like they're checking under the cars, and then like when you see the lady sees you and you have the gun turned, you're seeing her face like shocked and about to yell, and then bam, the mist. You know, when you kill that one guy that's like calling you a wrench or whatever, and you kill him.
Is that the big dude with the axe?
No,
Or the guy that's like a straddling Ellie punching?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
When you kill him, the guy yells, Eric. Like that's his buddy you just killed. Like, they're whistling to each other as a sign of communication.
Yep.
Like, all this stuff, to me, made me really excited. Now, did the violence seem was it ultra violent? Yeah. Because that's what Last of Us is. Mm-hmm. This isn't kind. Right? Like, Gears of War, I get it. Super violent. But it's cartoonish because you're using a chainsaw gun on these things that don't look real. But guess what? Killing a person isn't fun. Believe it or not, trust me, I've done it before and I'm not afraid to do it again. I'm kidding. But, like, with that, it's not fun. It is a struggle. It is grotesque. It's not fun. And when I saw Neil Druckmann, say, again, I say it all the time, but this game is about hatred. And you saw it, and it was such a great portrayal of what is happiness, and you see Ellie happy, and then the contrast of This is her angry as fuck. This is hate.
Yep.
And you understand that hate comes out from a place of love is a awesome thing.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, love, you can love something so much that you hate something because something happens to that love.
Yep.
And so with that, I got more excited for Last of Us.
And even I think what I saw was super exciting, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
But the stuff that we didn't see has got me even more excited. We've only seen a brief second or two of the clickers in the second trailer.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen gameplay with them, and that makes me so excited.
Yeah, because what are the clickers now? Because
they could be adding, like, if they redid the AI of the human characters.
What are they doing to the clickers?
How are the clickers going to react in this new AI?
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, "We're mad that we didn't see clickers." I'm like, I don't want that. I'd rather not see them at all until I get to them in the game. Like, I already saw enough that I need to see.
Yep.
And with that, when I come, like, it's also been years since, right? Like, Ellie was 13. She looks like she's maybe
17, 18. 19.
Yeah, 18, 19, maybe 20. But like you see time has gone by. So what, like, are the tickers even a big deal anymore? Clickers, sorry.
Yeah.
Are they even a big deal anymore?
Yeah. And we haven't seen Joel yet either.
Yeah. So
there's so much stuff we have not seen, and we're scratching the surface. I'm hyped.
Exactly. So I'm excited for this. I'm pumped. I'm sorry you're not. That sucks.
Yeah.
But hey, I hope they turn you around again.
Yes.
Violence. I like that it's not fun, and that's the one cool thing about The Last of Us. At least in the last one, is that if you didn't like the violence, you could skip it. Right? If you're silent enough, you could just go through most of it without killing it. A lot of people.
Yeah.
So there you go. With that, we go to Andrew Gonzalez. What's up, Andrew?
What up, Andrew?
Oh, man. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. No, you owe me a PlayStation. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
I just wanted to make it a PlayStation-centric. I don't know. So what classic PlayStation franchise would you love to see make a comeback? We got Spyro. We got Crash.
Yeah.
Put them in Smash.
Yeah.
What's a classic PlayStation game needs to make a comeback?
Now, are we saying, like, widely known as a classic, or like a classic in our hearts?
Classic in your heart, sir.
Oh, man. That just opens up the floodgates. At first, I was going to say Siphon Filter. Okay. I was going to say that because I think we're ready for some more Gabe Logan. But the classic in my heart is Tomba. I want a new Tomba game, Joe.
What's a Tomba? You let me.
What's a Tomba?
I may be.
I don't know how to say it. It's you're this caveman with the pink hair, and you're fighting these evil pigs who are trying to take over the world, and like you bite enemies and people to like gain knowledge, and it was like this cool like Metroidvania type of style game. The art style was cool. I just loved that game. I played that game a ton. I don't think I ever beat it because there was a lot of backtracking and stuff, but I would love to see that come back. And special shout out to Brave Fencer Musashi, which is the first PlayStation game I ever played. That's like a Zelda clone.
Okay.
Where you have to like collect townspeople in certain levels and bring them back. Kind of like Dark Cloud did and stuff like that. So
I'm gonna choose the easy out here and say Siphon Filter.
Yeah.
But without a doubt, I remember me playing the demo over and over and over again. So yeah, that's all we got for viewer questions, and I want to thank everybody for again throwing us so many questions this week. Thank you all so much. You carried the show because we only have one other news story.
Yep.
And actually, we do have two more, but they're both very short. Sony announces a low-cost range of PlayStation 4 hits. And let me get this out. This is from Push Square. Remember the greatest hits line from the PlayStation 3?
I sure do. Red borders.
It's making a comeback. Red borders and all. Actually, red cases as well.
Oh.
So the games that they have shown right now on their title screen is PlayStation hits. It includes Battlefield 4, odd. That one I'm going to say it's odd that one's there. Uncharted 4, Street Fighter 5, Bloodborne, the game of the generation, which that answers Fiona's question. What's the game of the generation? I'm answering for both me and Kyle here. It's Bloodborne.
Sure. Whatever.
Yakuza 0, Metal Gear Solid 5. Interesting. I like it. And also, it's the Game of the Year edition. And Ratchet and Clank are going to debut as the greatest hits. I'm excited for this. I really am. I just wonder if Bloodborne includes Old Hunters DLC or not.
That list is missing a few things that are odd. Horizon, or is it just not ready yet?
Well,
there's not enough time.
You know what? I'm so glad you brought up Horizon, Kyle.
Yeah,
because this week marks a special week here at the Trophy Room and PlayStation Podcast, made by the players for the players. Rate us 5 stars, and please avoid all this commotion you're hearing. The reason why we created the Trophy Room was because of one singular game that I played, and I was like, "This is it. I love what Sony's doing. This I need to make a podcast." And it was a little game called Horizon Zero Dawn. And on the greatest, or the
look at it.
What is it? The Days of Play, right? That's what it's called. The Days of Play event. You had this game, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, for $19.99. This comes with the game.
That's insane.
Yep, and the Frozen Wilds. And so I was like, this would be stupid if I didn't do something for the Trophy Room when it comes to Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. So I bought a copy of Horizon Zero Dawn right here, and I'm going to be giving it away. And then, you know what I said?
You're not stopping there?
What? No, I'm not stopping there. I'm giving away another copy of Horizon Zero Dawn.
What?
Yeah. And then, you know what I did? I go crazy. 3 copies of Horizon Zero Dawn that I'm going to be giving away, I'm pretty sure at random. But if you want a chance to win, here's all you need to do. Okay? Rate us 5 stars on iTunes. All right? That's one. Be a patron of the Make Us Better Patreon. So anybody who's currently a patron at the $1 and up, you're automatically in. All right? So you're a patron of the Make Us Better community. Or you follow us on the Trophy Room Twitter account. So PS Trophy Room. Follow us on Twitter. You do those 3 things. And what we're going to do is every week we'll announce a new winner on the show leading up to our anniversary that's on June 3rd. Yes, a day before Independence Day.
July 3rd.
Oh, sorry, July 3rd. Day before Independence Day. I get it. I'm not smart at releasing stuff. But with that, yeah, I'll be giving away a copy of Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. If you haven't played that game already, again, follow Trophy Room, PS Trophy Room, rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Be a patron at patreon.com/makeusbetter to be enrolled. It's just my way of giving back to you guys who have given us so very much. So I want to thank you all so much. And with that, we get to our last story. Are you ready? Because it's another small one. So this is a rumor. It was out of a screenshot that on Reddit, that the PlayStation Now service, the streaming service, is going to have a download option. So we understand that the streaming is not where it needs to be right now, right? We saw EA announce that they're doing something with streaming. We saw Xbox announce that they were doing something with streaming. Congratulations. Yep. Welcome to the party. I still gotta throw shade at them, right? Like, they're doing good stuff, whatever. We know that streaming isn't the best. And if you don't have a strong internet, you know that, and if you're throttled, you know that streaming is just not an option for you, especially if you're in rural areas of the country or whatever country you're part of. You know that download speeds could be rough for you guys. Yeah. And so this rumor, this screenshot of downloading the games would mean that it would have a Game Pass-like effect. Uh-oh, what happened, Sean? What happened, Kyle?
I forgot to mute my TV, and
I love it.
A notification on PlayStation popped up.
Absolutely. It's allowed because it's PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, you're able to download the game. Of course, this is a rumor. It's not out yet. This could be Photoshop. Who knows? Yeah. But do you think a download option that is a Game Pass-like download option for PlayStation Now, would it make it a more attractive service? Would you buy this? Would you subscribe? Yeah?
I would. I've tried PlayStation Now in the past, and trying to play a streamed game was very choppy, and it made games like I tried Arkham City before the remastered collection came out, and it was just gliding through the city was so choppy, and you were missing, the grappling hook spots and stuff. It didn't make a good experience. So having the ability to download it is smart. It's like, hey, we have something akin to Game Pass over here.
Yeah.
And I think it's the way to go. I really do.
Yeah, I think if they did this would totally even the playing field a little bit. Yep. Also adding a couple more games, because to be completely honest with you, the games that there are on PlayStation now, it's not bad. It's, you have games like The Last of Us on there. These are great games. And even God of War on the PlayStation. PlayStation 3 games are on here. Even PlayStation 2 games. So if they're able to fill the catalog with more backlog, like bringing over tons and tons of PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1 titles, bringing them into the fold like Xbox is doing, where month in, month out, you get a steady stream of 3 to 5 games hitting PlayStation Now. Yeah. That would be awesome. I think you need to do more with the streaming service. If people like Microsoft and EA think it's the future, then you ought to be doing something about this. So, I definitely feel like if you added a download feature, I would definitely try it out, because there are some games I do want to try again.
And now, if I was Joe.
Oh, you're turning the tables on.
I am.
Okay.
I would add that as part of PS Plus every month. You get to download a PS Now game and try it out to kind of get people in.
I like it. You know what? If I was you, I'd do the same damn thing.
Yep.
Do the absolute same damn thing. And so with that, it was a light week. I'm going to be honest with you when it comes to news this week. But it's a week after E3. What can we expect, right?
It was light on news, Joe, but it was full on content. It was a great episode.
That's what it is. And you know what? It was more relaxed. Yeah. Everybody's really enjoying themselves. Everybody's asking questions. Amazing. And I want to thank everybody. I'm sorry if we couldn't get to all the questions here. We only got an hour. We only got an hour to spare. With that, we want to end the show on one thing. So, yes, our 1-year anniversary is in 3 weeks. But what are we? We're 5 episodes away from episode 50. We missed a few back in the holiday season. So, we're episode 45 or 46, right?
It's around there, yeah.
Around there. Episode 50, and I'll give you guys a hard date. That's what she said. This week, probably when this podcast comes out. So you'll see the date there. We're going to start the PlayStation show the Trophy Room, PlayStation podcast will be starting to go live every single episode. So you could catch us live in the act of recording this podcast on YouTube every night we record this, so that if you want the raw, unfiltered version of this show, come with us for the ride. Please. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. Episode 50, again, it's going to be live. We encourage you guys to throw us more questions that you want answered, so we'll be so glad to answer them for you. But with that, Kyle, I got nothing else, man.
Got nothing else?
I got nothing else. But you know what? It's been a good week.
Yeah.
We finally got that demon out of our chest that is the Fortnite controversy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So is there anything you'd like to plug?
Sure, Joe. You can find me at WhoDatNinja73 on Twitter, PSN. Sure. Go ahead and friend me on there. And then my show called Best Friends Talk Funny. I've been busy in the past week, Joe.
Ooh.
I released 3 episodes last week.
I love it.
With fellow best friends. I'm gonna have another one going live this week that I recorded last night, and it was my longest podcast ever. We went over 2 hours. It was such a fantastic conversation.
Who was it with? Can you?
Yeah, it was with Andrew Taylor at Papa Drew Bear on Twitter. He's famously known as the guy who does not like Africa by Toto. Everyone kind of harps on him on that, but we had a great conversation, and I want you to go check it out at Best Friends Talk Funny on all the podcast services and on Twitter at BFS Talk Funny. And if you're listening to this and want to be on the show, hit me up. I'd be happy to record with you.
Who Dat Ninja 73. Man.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I just want to make sure. I always think it's 76 now because of Fallout 76.
Oh, yeah.
It's always throwing me through a loop.
And, next week, we're going to record next Tuesday, like usual.
Yeah.
But then I'm flying to San Fran on Wednesday. I'll be in San Francisco for Kind of Funny Prom, which is insane to me that it's already here.
Something. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I really am. I wanted to go this year, but it's going to have to be next year. But don't worry, because we're going to go to PSX this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, man. I'm so pumped.
Bring Sony. While we're on the fact, like we're talking to you, like
please
bring it to the East Coast, please. Just
please.
It doesn't have to be in New York City. I mean, you do have a PlayStation Theater in New York City. You can do the whole show in the Javits Center because Comic-Con's there. It's a perfect place. But what do I know? Whatever. You can...
Please, I don't feel like... What was it last year? Anaheim, right?
Yeah. Can you imagine having the PSX conference in Madison Square Garden?
Yo, that would be sick.
Let's do it, Sony.
Hey, gang. Also, you're probably either watching this at Bad Big Games on YouTube, so hit that subscribe, hit like, hit share. It helps me out. Ring that bell because YouTube's YouTube. And you can follow us here also. The Trophy Room's on iTunes. It's on SoundCloud. It's on Google Play. It's on anything you get an RSS feed, a podcast from, Overcast, Pocket Cast, whatever it is. Rate us 5 stars. Rate us 5 smiley faces. Swipe right. Whatever you need to do to promote the Trophy Room, to grow this big, beautiful audience that is the Trophy Room, this family. Yeah. I love doing this show every single week. And because of your support over at patreon.com/makeusbetter, that happens every single week. This show would not happen if it wasn't for you guys. We wouldn't have these cool icons, these cool logos. We wouldn't be on SoundCloud. Kyle would not have this kick-ass mic if it wasn't for the generosity of all the people on patreon.com/makeusbetter. I know I harped on it a lot, but it just comes out of a source of pride and love for that community. And follow me at Mr. Badbit on Twitter. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation.